So waiting line models basically talks about more of a service and application into service industry wherein you have to deal with queues. Okay, that is waiting lines. You can see waiting lines all across at multiple places, starting from uh, queues for the tickets and goes up to almost anywhere and everywhere. So we are able to see queues all across. Can you please tell me what are the queues that you have come across and what were the challenges faced by you? What you didn't liked about those queues? Can somebody please share their experience?
Maybe a queue in a bank or some maybe in McD.
Okay. What you didn't like about those queues?
Waiting time, sir.
Waiting time.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Uh, Nothing as such.
Did you ever observe that the queue in which you are not there is moving faster?
Yes, sir. Most of the time.
Okay. I believe this experience would have been there with all of us.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And the minute you switch over to that line, it gets slow. And the queue which you have left starts moving faster.
Yes, sir.
What is actually the problem there? Neha Patil.
Yes, sir. So I think that's what how we think, sir. Like sometimes if it's a ticket queue or something, the person who is giving us ticket is actually working fast. So we think that queue is moving faster than ours. So we switch, and then suddenly something happens, and then it becomes slower. So sometimes it's just how we think.
Good, good. Dipali, what are your views on it?
So same as Neha said, that we think that it is moving faster, but maybe some even sometime it happened that the counter computer get hangs or something like that, and the queue we are standing has the same problem.
Okay. Did you ever felt that the person who is there at the counter is speaking to somebody else, and when they have extra man force, why they are not starting in another counter?
Yes, sir. Like they can start another counter so that the crowd management could be minimized.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Is there anybody who happened to manage the queues? Manage the queues means who happened to be on the service side. That means the one who is managing the servers, the people who are serving the queues. फिर से नाम लेना पड़ेगा क्या?
Sir, I
For
have
every-
seen but never managed myself. I have
Okay,
seen people
okay.
managing.
Okay. Anything that you would like to share? Some good experiences, some insights, some bad.
If there is a person looking after this, then the work becomes easy for the people who are standing in the queue, for them, as well as the person also, if they coordinate him well. Like if there are two queues, then the people get like they can reach there where they want to reach. For example, the ticket counter, they can reach easily, and there is no hustle or any disturbance. They have to
Good.
you have to follow a proper sequence. Like if you're standing in the left queue, you have to stand in the left only, or else in the right only. You can't interchange or what.
Okay, that means you cannot jockey around.
Yes, sir. If there is a person, because he'll take care of the things.
Hmm.
But some people they act very smartly. Like if the left queue is getting less, then they'll shift the left.
Okay. Anybody would like to add something to this? Any of their experiences? When you are jumping the queue, from one queue to another one, that process is actually called as jockeying. Okay, Jockeying. There are three terminologies which are applicable here. One is jockeying, that is switching between queues. Okay. Reneging, that means you join the queue and after waiting for some time, you leave the system. And the third thing is called as bulking. Bulking means the customer approaches the system and after seeing the queue, he decides to not to join in. Has all the three things happened with you all? Has all the three things happened with you all? You have switched queues. You have been in the system, in the queue for some time, waited, and then you left the system. The third, from outside itself, you saw the heavy rush or queue, and you decided to leave the system or not to enter the system. Has that happened?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It has happened with every one of us. Now, the biggest challenge is of queue management. Now, what to do and how to manage the queues. As a manager, you will be coming across n number of situations wherein you will be forced or you will be required to manage the queues. Now, there are different set of rules which you follow to manage the queues. One, you will decide that I will service them based on first come first serve basis. Or I can decide on shortest processing time. Or I can go for dedicated lines. Now what do we mean by dedicated lines? क्रेडिट कार्ड वाला लोग ये लाइन में, कैश वाला ये लाइन में, less than 10 items ये लाइन में. Correct? Have you seen all these kind of queues?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Shortest processing time, that is a type of dedicated specialized line wherein the processing time for the customer is going to be short, and hence we prefer to put them in a separate queue so that the waiting time is not longer for them. Okay, this is first come, first serve. There are different other methodologies, which is first come, first serve is nothing but FIFO, first in, first out. Okay, it is. The other is, it can be LIFO method also, last in, first out. Okay, this would be applicable for products. For some of the products, they would prefer to go for last in, first out. In case of beer industry, कुछ चीजों को वो लोग ऑलरेडी ज्यादा टाइम के लिए फर्मेंट करने के लिए रख देते हैं एंड दे डोंट pull it out fast, because in those cases the returns are much higher. So कुछ उनको वो लोग अलग कर देते हैं. Second thing is loading and unloading of the truck. करेक्ट. जो सबसे लास्ट में डाला गया था वो सबसे पहले बाहर आएगा. So ऐसे बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स हैं which you can see. So rules for queue management are numerous, and at times you will find there is something called as priority scheduling. That means somebody is in an emergency or urgency, let us service them first. This can be seen at a doctor's place. Correct? Priority scheduling, or you can also put it as VIP or priority, or you can also call it as very idiot person. Now, are both the same? I say yes. I believe there is a possibility that some of you may not agree. I will prove it also. When you have a request from two friends, one you don't like, and the other is a good friend of yours. Now, the work has come from both of them. What will you do? Which one will be preferred? Hello?
Yes, sir. The one I like.
The one you like. So that means very important person. He is important for you, correct? Now, I'm just switching a scenario. You have got two customers. एक कस्टमर बहुत किड़किड़ करता है, and the other is okay, fine, understandable, वो समझ के लेता है. Now, which one will you prefer? Which one will you service the first?
So the one who's less fussy.
The one who is less fussy. Okay, but in reality, what happens is majority of the times people go in for the one who cribs a lot. Why? Why?
So that he cribs less.
Because we want him to be out of the system as soon as possible. We want to get rid of him. It will come up soon. Just a minute. Okay. So what we do is we try to manage queues in the best way possible and depending upon what are our priorities. Okay. So accordingly, we take a call. Now, in between, I had asked you one question that do you see some other people who are standing there and you feel they could have started on another counter? Okay. And it would have helped to ease out the load. Now, they can definitely start on another counter. Starting a counter is a cost. मतलब मेरे को एक और आदमी चाहिए. Correct? But when there is no load, we'll try and finish it as soon as possible. I hope we are clear with the concepts that we have done till now. VIP can be, that is basically priority scheduling, and you do it under both the conditions when you are trying to avoid something, and again when there is a element of favoritism too. Okay, so there are multiple rules which you use it. Now, how do you understand or measure the efficacy of the system? That means whether I am able to manage the load properly or not. So these are there are certain parameters which you actually take into consideration. The two most important elements are the customer arrival rate and the customer service rate. These are the two parameters from where your measurement actually starts. Okay, so first these two things, and then the performance parameters will be defined by how much the system is getting utilized. Is there any idle time? How many people are waiting in the system? How many of them are waiting in the queue? What do we mean by, what is the difference between the two? The people who are waiting in the queue are only just this. The people who are waiting in the system are all this. That means including the person who is being serviced. Okay.
Sorry
So,
to interrupt you, sir, but we can't see the screen.
oh,
Yes.
sorry. I will share the screen again. Is the screen visible now?
Yes, sir.
So parameters which you, from where you actually starts are two. One is the customer arrival rate, the other is a customer service rate. Now, how do you identify the efficacy of the system? That totally depends upon the utilization of the system, how much it is getting utilized, or the performance of the system. Then what is the length of the system? Length of the system and length of the queue. These are the two things which we are going to look at. So length of the queue means the people who are there in the queue and are waiting for their service, for their turn. Okay. And length of the system means including the person who is being serviced. Now, what we are taking into consideration here is a single server scenario, wherein one queue, one server, and so on. Okay, there could be multiple queues and one server. There could be multiple servers, one queue. Actually, you can see this example, multiple servers, one queue. It can be seen at the immigration counters at the airport. वहां पर काफी अलग अलग वो रहते हैं, बहुत सब एक ही क्यू रहेगा and multiple servers are there. You will be redirected to which counter you are supposed to go. This is also applicable in case of some of the McDonald's, the one which is there at VT. Okay, immediately just outside the station, opposite. So there you can see there are multiple counters, but single queue. Now, but at the same time, there are multiple other McDonald counters wherein you have multiple queues and multiple servers. So what we are taking into consideration right now, which is a part of our syllabus, is a single server, single queue model. Okay. Okay, this entire thing will be referred to as a system, which includes the person who is going to service the customers. So his service rate becomes very important. Now, so length of the system we'll talk about. So what is the length of the system as of now? 5. But what is the length of the queue? 4. Okay. So people who are there in the waiting line, okay, will form the queue, the one who is excluding the person who is getting serviced. So this is LS, length of the system. This is LQ, length of the queue. Okay. Now, the other parameters which we are going to always measure, we don't measure it based on the number of people who are waiting there in the queue, but we measure based on what is the waiting time for them. You would have come across situation wherein you have multiple counters. These are your payment counters. Okay. And there are queues in the front like this. Now, what is happening here is you would have observed these vertical lines, but have you also observed there is one horizontal line after a while? एक horizontal line आपको यहाँ पर immediately नजर आती है, correct? So basically the person who is actually getting serviced. So यहाँ पर वो person आ जाएगा, the person who is getting serviced. Here there are people who are waiting in the queue, but after a while you will see that there is one horizontal line which is drawn. It is only just an indicator for the store manager to understand whether he has to start an another counter or not. आप देखोगे एक काउंटर चालू है, जब वो लाइन थोड़ी सी बड़ी हो जाएगी तो he starts an another one and tries to finish off the queue early. But जब काफी पीक पीरियड होता है तो ये सारे के सारे चालू रहते हैं, उसके आगे वो और एक्स्ट्रा चालू नहीं कर सकता because he is not having that kind of manpower. But at the same time what they do is the people who are actually manning the counters are the one who will be multi-skilled. So that means they will be able to manage the counter as well as they will be applied to other areas of work also. So during the lean period, they will be applied to other areas of work, and during the demand period, they will be applied for managing the counters. Now, only these many people will be skilled, not all, to manage this counter. So when we see some other person who is coming here and talking to them, we feel there is another person, why they are not starting in another counter. So that's a challenge. So what we do is, but we don't understand whether that person is skilled enough to manage the counter or not. हमको लगता है भाई काउंटर ही तो है, वो उधर पर मैनेज कर सकता है, but if he goofs up, there is a great problem, which great apprehension which would be coming from the customer side, and to manage that will become a problem, will actually lead to a bad customer experience. So we always try not to have that kind of experience. So we prefer not to bring people who are not relevant to that particular kind of work, so they should not be seen around. Okay, so that is one way how you manage. Okay, आई बिलीव जो हम लोगों को कई बार ऐसा लगता है कि और काउंटर क्यों नहीं चालू करते, उसका आंसर मिल गया आपको सबको. सो गए. or are
Sure,
there
sure.
people there? Okay. And a picture
So we are
show
there.
that.
Nice, sir.
Okay, fine. Are we clear? So now what I want is, can you guys please take a screenshot of this so that these are the formulas which we are going to use now. Okay. So एक second. थोड़ा सा इसको छोटा करता हूँ so that fine. Done.
Yes.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll take up the first question. एक सेकंड, आप लोगों के पास में क्वेश्चंस नहीं है ना? मैंने ऑलरेडी शायद उस पे ड्राइव पे डाला हुआ है waiting line models. Can you please check? And you can download it from there.
Yes, sir. It's there.
It's there.
Yes, sir.
Good. Your system is faster than mine. You were able to access it faster than me.
What is the name of the file? Can you repeat?
Sorry?
What is the name of the file? Can you repeat?
Waiting line model. Queuing model or waiting line models? First question talks about customers arrive to a typist who is known for quality typing. According to Poisson probability law, with an average inter-arrival time of 20 minutes, the customers wait if the typist is not free. The typist completes the typing jobs in an average time of 15 minutes. The times taken being distributed exponentially. From the information, determine Pehla, what fraction of the time is the typist busy? When we want to check out what fraction of the time the typist is busy, we'll work out the utilization of the server. Utilization will be given by lambda upon mu. Okay, it is denoted by lambda is your arrival rate, mu is your service rate, and rho is your utilization. Okay, so what we'll be calculating here is utilization. So let us first check out arrival rate. What is my arrival rate here? Inter arrival time of 20 minutes. So that means we are talking about 20 minutes. So that means three customers per hour. Fine. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Service rate is given as 15 minutes per customer. That means 60 divided by 15. So that means 4 customers per hour. Are we fine up to this?
Yes, sir.
What fraction of time is the typist busy? That means if I work out utilization of the server, that will tell me the percentage of the time the server was busy. So it is denoted by rho that is equal to lambda upon lambda divided by mu, that is equal to, what is my lambda? Arrival rate divided by my service rate. So 0.75, that is equal to, so that means 75% time the server is busy. Correct, na? I'm just putting these symbols also here only so that you don't have to search around. Are we okay up to this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What fraction of time is the typist free? What fraction of time the typist would be free?
1 minus 0.75.
Perfect. Idle time of the server equals to 1 minus, that is your utilization. So that is equal to perfect. Is it okay? Itna tak easy hai?
Yes, sir.
Now, the third question is, what is the expected number of customers waiting in the queue? And what is the number of expected number of customers with the typist? That means we are talking about expected number of customers who are there in the system. So that means this we are talking about LS. LS means number of people who are there in the system. And LS is given by, LS is equal to lambda upon mu minus lambda. Lambda upon mu minus. Can you see the formulas? आप लोगों को देखिए मैंने स्क्रीनशॉट लेने को बोला था. Do you remember?
Yes, sir. I've taken the screenshot.
So please keep on referring to it. I'm typing out the formulas for you so that you don't have to actually bother. But आप उधर पर से चेक करते जाइए. In case अगर मैं कहीं पर गलत हो गया तो please correct me. I would be too happy to
Yes,
hear
sir.
that. क्योंकि उसका मतलब ये है कि आप ध्यान दे रहे हो. ठीक है? So now what would be your LS? Equals to, first is lambda divided by mu minus lambda. So which is 3. That means 3 customers are in the system. And expected number of customers waiting in the queue is LQ, which is equal to rho into LS. ये फॉर्मूला बहुत इजीली याद रख सकते हैं. So it's better to remember shorter formulas. So how many people are waiting in the system, in the queue? Row is your this thing 0.75 into your number of customers waiting in the system, so 2.25. Waiting in the queue for servicing. Are we fine up to this? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So, can you please show the formula which you entered in three customers wherein you received the answer?
important नहीं है बेटा. Important ये है कि आपको फॉर्मूला में बस सीधा substitute करना.
So, actually, I'm getting a negative value.
Okay. शायद आपने म्यू माइनस लैम्डा की जगह पर लैम्डा माइनस म्यू कर दिया होगा. आया बराबर?
Yes, sir. Yes, got it. Thank you, sir.
हमेशा याद रखिए for all the waiting line models, okay, lambda, sorry, mu should be greater than or equal to lambda. When your service rate is faster, तो ही आप उधर पर क्यू खत्म कर पाओगे, नहीं तो क्यू खत्म नहीं होगी. Okay, there will be indefinite queue, और indefinite queue में ये सिस्टम का कोई मतलब नहीं रह जाएगा. Okay, so ये देखिए mu is 4, lambda is 3, so we can just go ahead and solve all this. यहाँ तक ओके है? कभी भी आपके लिए इजी रहेगा टू वर्क अराउंड फर्स्ट यूटिलाइजेशन, देन एलएस. Utilization into LS will give you LQ. Okay. Then WS, WQ and so on. ठीक है. So अभी आपका WS will be what? क्या दिया है? LS upon lambda. ये सब जो इतने भयंकर भयंकर फॉर्मूलाज है ना, वो सब याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है. प्लीज रिमेंबर ओनली जस्ट दीज सिंपल वंस. ओके, जो मैं आप लोगों को अभी कराते जा रहा हूं. How much time a customer is expected to spend in the queue and how much time the customer would spend in the system. That means before he gets serviced. अभी इन लोगों ने थोड़ा अलग ऑर्डर में क्वेश्चन पूछा है, बट मैं उसको उसी तरह से फिर भी सॉल्व करूंगा. So my waiting time in the system will be equal to LS divided by my lambda. So this would be waiting time in the system would be how much? Equals to your LS. LS is 3 divided by your lambda. Lambda is, that is arrival rate. So 1, since all the things are in hours, we have, it would be 1 hour. So average waiting time for a customer to be there in the system can take up to 1 hour. Now, what about your WQ? करेक्ट ना, यही है ना फॉर्मूला? एक मिनट, शायद इधर पर एक there is a correction in this formula. Please do that. चाहिए तो आप वापस फ्रेश स्क्रीनशॉट ले सकते हो. Done. So WQ equals to rho into WS. So it would be your utilization, that is 0.75 into. So this much is the time when people would be waiting there in the queue. What is the probability that customer has to wait? What is the probability that the customer has to wait? What are we actually talking about? It is nothing but your utilization only. So the customer will have to wait for around 75% of the time. So it is lambda upon mu. So it is actually lambda upon so customer will have to wait. H, what is the probability that 3 or more customers are there in the system? So look at this formula. Probability that the customers are there in the service system at any given time. N number of customers are there in the system at any given time. So Pn equals to 1 minus rho into rho raised to the power n. So probability that there are n number of customers in the system is given by 1 minus rho into rho raised to the power. We can normally इसमें वो सिंबल हम लोग ये वाला यूज करते हैं, या फिर आप उसको सुपरस्क्रिप्ट करके लिख सकते हो. So it would be probability that there are 3 or more customers. So that means n will be equal to 3. So it is 1 minus rho into rho raised to the power 3. So 0.1054, which is equals to this much percent. उसको परसेंट में कन्वर्ट कर दिया. Fine. Are we clear up to this?
Yes.
Let's take up the second question. I hope we are comfortable with the first one. This was very simple one. Direct सीधा आपको बस सिर्फ formulas में values substitute करनी है and you will get it. Okay. Important is the understanding of the terminologies. Fine. Coming to the second question, it says a repairman is to be hired by a company to repair machines that break down following a poison process with an average rate of 4 per hour. So that means here the arrival rate or failure rate, which can also be called as arrival rate, in this particular case will be equals to how much? 4 per hour. The cost of non-productive machine time is rupees 90 per hour. ₹90 per hour. The company has the option of choosing either a fast or a slow repairman. So we have a choice of a fast as well as a slow repairman. So let us say choice. पहला वाला क्या information दिया हुआ है? The fast repairman charges ₹70 per hour. So we are talking about a fast repairman. So the first choice is a fast repairman and his charges, इसका charges कितना है? ₹70 per hour and will repair machines at an average rate of 7 per hour. So that means this 7 per hour is nothing but his service rate, which is mu. Correct? Are we fine up to this? I'm just extracting information from the question. While the slow repairman charges ₹50 per hour and will repair machines at an average rate of 6 per hour, which repairman should be hired? Now, how will we basically take this thing into account? Which repairman should be hired? What all things do we need to find out? यहाँ पर आपको इंफॉर्मेशन क्या क्या दिया है? नॉन प्रोडक्टिव टाइम कॉस्ट. नॉन प्रोडक्टिव मतलब वेटिंग टाइम जो भी रहेगा वो वेटिंग टाइम का कॉस्ट लगने वाला है. करेक्ट? हेलो, हेलो.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So आपको जिसका जिसका कॉस्ट लगेगा उसी हिसाब से जहां जहां पर आपका कॉस्ट इंक्लिनेशन है वो सब चीजों को वर्कआउट करना है. सो पहला थिंग इज waiting time in the system. When you are waiting in the system, that is the time when you are non-productive. Okay, so waiting time in the system, that means we are talking about WS. But WS calculate करने के लिए हमको क्या चाहिए होगा? LS चाहिए होगा. Correct ना?
Yes, sir.
So let us just work out LS first. Length of the system. So length of the system is actually given by lambda upon mu minus lambda. So that is equal to, this is your lambda. This is going to be the same irrespective of whether it's a fast repairment or a slow repairment. So I'm just going to freeze this. Lambda upon mu. Mu is this minus lambda. I'm going to freeze it because this will remain same. So 1.33 customers. Okay. And WS is equal to LS upon lambda. So LS upon lambda means this divided by this. Lambda is fixed, so I will just use the same thing. What I'm thinking of doing is यही फास्ट रिपेयरमेंट का सिर्फ वैल्यूज चेंज करूंगा स्लो रिपेयरमेंट के लिए, तो मैं यही सेम चीज यूज करने वाला हूँ ऑन दिस साइड. ओके, सो पहले फास्ट रिपेयरमेंट का टोटल कॉस्ट वर्कआउट करेंगे एंड देन वी विल जस्ट सिंपली चेंज द वैल्यू, सो lot of calculation time would be saved. Okay, so this tells me this much hours, this much time per hour will be non-productive for every customer. Correct? Non-productive इसका cost क्या दिया हुआ है? 90. एक घंटे में कितने लोग आएंगे? 4 लोग. So मेरा total cost of waiting in the system per hour non-productive cost will be equal to how much? It would be this much time into कितने लोग उस वक्त आने वाले हैं into the non-productive time cost. ये भी freeze कर दे रहा हूँ because it would be the same whether it's a fast repairman or a slow repairman. So it gives me 120 rupees per hour. This would be my non-productive cost. Now let us look at total cost of servicing per hour. It will also include the non-productive cost plus serviceman's charges. बराबर ना? Correct? लोग कोई कुछ बोलता ही नहीं है. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear with this total cost? This will be equal to 120 plus charges of the repairman. So that is 190 rupees per hour. Fine. This becomes my total cost for a fast repairman. Now, since I have to do it for a slow repairman, I'll just simply copy the entire stuff and I paste it here. I will do some necessary changes. Slow repairman, the charges of the slow repairman is 50. Service rate is, and will repair machines at an average rate of 6 per hour. So service rate is 6. All my other values have already worked out. 0.5, 180. Just let us check whether the formulas are doing it right. Yes. What about this one? It is referring to this lambda value, so fine. Here also it is referring to these values. Perfect. So this gives me a total cost of 230 rupees per hour. So even without looking at it from an 8 hours perspective, just by 1 hour itself, I can say that the total cost per hour of the fast repairman is lower than the slow repairman. Hence, fast repairman should be preferred. Clear?
Yes, sir.
एक्सेल में करने का फायदा ये है कि बहुत सारा कैलकुलेशंस आपको बार बार करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है. ऑल दैट यू नीड टू डू इज थोड़ा पहले से ही विजुअलाइज कर लेने का एंड जस्ट पुट इट इन द राइट वे. Should we move to the next one now? Any doubts, any questions here?
No, sir.
Hello? Okay. So let's move over to the next one. Question number 3. A road transport company has one reservation clerk on duty at a time. He handles information of bus schedules and makes reservations. Customers arrive at a rate of 8 per hour and the clerk can service 12 customers on an average per hour. After stating your assumptions, answer the following. अब इसमें what are the which all information is available? Are we clear in terms of lambda and mu? Is the arrival rate given? 8 per hour. That means 8 customers per hour. That is your arrival rate. And what about your service rate? 12 customers per hour. So that is your service rate. कितना है customer arrival rate? Hello?
8 hours.
How much is the customer arrival rate?
8 per hour.
Uh, Clerks service rate. How much is it?
12 per hour.
12 per hour. So that means मेरे पास में lambda और mu है. What is the average number of customers waiting for the service of the clerk? That means we are talking about LQ. B, what is the average time a customer has to wait before getting service? That means we are talking about WQ. Okay, so LQ आपको निकालने का है और
WQ.
हाँ, so आप लोग करोगे? LQ निकालने के लिए मुझे LS निकालना पड़ेगा. LS is lambda upon LS is lambda divided by mu minus.
Mu minus lambda.
Perfect. So it gives me 2 customers. So हम लोगों ने यहाँ पर एक चीज नहीं कैलकुलेट की, that is utilization, that is rho. You can also call it as server utilization or clerk's utilization. Utilization is calculated by
Lambda upon mu.
lambda upon mu. So which is this much percent. So 2 customers are waiting. How much is the waiting time? WS is equal to lambda upon LS. So this is equal to lambda upon sorry, I think
So it's LS upon lambda.
LS upon lambda, मैंने उल्टा कर दिया है. वही मैं सोच रहा था कि इतना ज्यादा कैसे हो गया. 0.25 hours, so that is equal to this into 60, this much minutes. Fine up to this. Average number of customers waiting in the queue is equal to rho into LS. Rho is this into LS. So 1.33 customers and waiting time would be rho into WS. That is this much minutes. यहाँ तक fine है.
Yes, sir.
So we have got both the values, that is average number of customers waiting in the queue and average time a customer has to wait before getting serviced. Fine. Now, the management is contemplating to install a computer system to handle the information and reservation. What this is expected to reduce the service time from 5 to 3 minutes. So service time will reduce from 5 minutes to 3 minutes. अभी 5 minutes कहाँ से आया?
सर वो 12 per hour है वो, that is
Very good.
5
12
minutes.
customers in 60 minutes. So that means 12 customers in 60 minutes मतलब क्या हो गया? Which is 5 minutes actually. So this is 5 minutes. So वही चीज के लिए वो बोला है कि they are planning to implement a computer system and it will reduce the service rate from 5 to 3 minutes. So when I say 5 to 3 minutes, that means I will be able to service how many? अभी इसको चाहिए तो हम पूरा का पूरा कॉपी कर लेते हैं. We'll look at another option, that is of after implementation of the computer system. So after implementation of the computer system, it will no longer be 12. It would be how much?
20.
60 divided by 3. So it would be 20 customers per hour. ठीक है. Immediately मेरा इसका utilization 8 upon 20 ये ठीक है. फिर उसके बाद में मेरा number of customers waiting ये सब आ गया 0.667 0.083 hours, which is 5 minutes. Okay, average number of customers waiting in the queue वो भी आ गया. Average time that they are waiting even from 10 minutes से 2 minute पर आ गया है. जो उनका waiting time in the system was 15 minutes, it has reduced to 5 minutes, which is a remarkable difference. Now, the additional information that is provided here is the additional cost of having the new system works out to rupees 50 per day. So cost of adding a computer system ₹50 per day. If the cost of goodwill of having to wait is estimated to be 12 paisa per minute spent waiting before being served, should the company install the computer? Assume 8 hours of working day. So I'm assuming it to be 8 hours of working day. पहले हम लोग just इसका goodwill cost ले लेते हैं, ठीक है? So goodwill cost at the rate of 12 पैसे per minute, ठीक है? So 12 पैसे per minute means कितना हो गया per hour? हमारा सारा इंफॉर्मेशन पर आवर पे है ना, सो इनटू 60 करना पड़ेगा, तो 12 पैसा मींस उसको रुपीस में अगर कन्वर्ट करूंगा तो 0.12 into 60
72.
है ना? हाँ, you will get something. देखते हैं क्या आता है. So और पर कस्टमर के हिसाब से भी हमको लेना पड़ेगा, तो हमारे कस्टमर्स कितने आ रहे हैं वो टाइम पर पूरे दिन में, ये पर आवर दिया हुआ है. 8 customers are arriving, so in 1 hour, so we'll be getting how many customers? 8 customer into
8 working hours.
8 working hours into my 0.12, that is my 12 पैसा per minute into 60, ये मेरा पर आवर वाला हिसाब हो जाएगा, बराबर ना? 0.12 into 60 means पर आवर हो गया, into 8 कर रहा हूं तो ऑटोमेटिकली आई विल बी एबल टू गेट 8 आवर्स का कितना कॉस्ट आ रहा है, बराबर?
Yes.
या फिर हम इसको रुको ऐसे करते हैं. अभी मैं सिर्फ इतना रखता हूं कि 1 घंटे में 8 कस्टमर्स आए, हर एक का वेटिंग टाइम मेरे को लेना पड़ेगा. 8 कस्टमर्स आए इनटू देयर वेटिंग टाइम, उनका एवरेज वेटिंग टाइम कितना है, दैट इज इनटू 0.33, फाइन, इनटू 0.12 वुड बी आपका 12 पैसा इनटू 60 and then into 8. This will give me 15.36 rupees per day. So my total cost after implementing the system will be equal to this 50 plus 15.36, that is 65.36 rupees per day. Now let us look at the same thing, because we don't have a computer system there, but बाकी की चीजें तो वैसे ही हैं. So if I look at this at 12 paisa per day, so मेरा waiting time, पहले number of customers who are arriving, उसका waiting time into 0.12 into 60 into 8, that gives me 76.8. And since we don't have a computer system here, so your total cost of implementing the system is 76.8. Now, since this cost is lower, we should go ahead and implement the system. Correct? It will not only just help us in reducing the waiting line, but it will keep my customers also happy. Clear? कोई कुछ बोल नहीं रहा है, या तो क्लियर है या तो एकदम से बाउंसर है. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
इस क्वेश्चन का जवाब देते हो यार, बाकी चीज के लिए कुछ नहीं बोलते हो. Even if it is negative, please do let me know. I will help you out. I will try to work it out again. मैंने सिर्फ कैलकुलेशन में टाइम बचाया by using Excel. तो फॉर्मूलाज को बस से बराबर से सेट कर दिया. That's it. That is how it helped me. Is there any problem in this? Hello?
So can you just show the total cost formula once again? Calculation.
Okay. From where you want me to do? Cost of adding a computer system or the goodwill cost?
Sir, goodwill cost.
Okay. I'll just work it out here separately for you. अभी देखिए, goodwill cost में आपका it depends upon कितना देर वो आदमी वेट करता है. ठीक है. So आपका 1 घंटे में 2 मिनट वेट करता है. कितने लोग वेट करते हैं? 8 लोग वेट करते हैं. हाँ, अभी ये 1 घंटे का हुआ. 1 घंटे का आपका कॉस्ट जो रहेगा विल बी 12 पैसा. ठीक है, मैं अभी मिनट्स में ले रहा हूँ, नहीं तो 1 मिनट. ठीक है, विल डू इट दैट वे. ये मिनट्स में जो मैंने कैलकुलेट किया ना, हम उसको लेकर के करते हैं कैलकुलेशन. सो इट वुड बी इजी फॉर अस टू अंडरस्टैंड. सो मेरा कस्टमर्स का वेटिंग टाइम कितना है? 2 मिनट. कितने कस्टमर्स का वेटिंग टाइम रहेगा? 8 कस्टमर का. 1 घंटे के अंदर 8 कस्टमर्स का वेटिंग टाइम रहेगा 2 मिनट्स के हिसाब से. ठीक है.
Yes.
अब इसके लिए मेरे को पैसे लगेंगे. अब मैं सब पैसे में कैलकुलेशन कर रहा हूँ. 12 पैसा बराबर है.
Yes, sir.
12 पैसे के हिसाब से मुझे लगेगा. अब पैसे को रुपीस में कन्वर्ट करना है, मतलब डिवाइडेड बाय 100. इतना फाइन है.
Yes, sir.
अब मेरे पास में 8 घंटे का पूरा मेरा शिफ्ट है. अभी वो आवर्स में है, तो या तो मैं उसको मिनट्स में कन्वर्ट करूं, या ये जो मैंने मिनट्स में लिया था, मिनट्स की जगह पर मैं आवर्स में लूं. सो दोनों किसी भी एक ही इसमें होना चाहिए. तो मैं इसको ही चाहिए तो मिनट्स की जगह आवर्स में ले लेता हूं, इनटू 8 आवर्स. ठीक है, यहाँ तक ओके.
Yes, sir.
अभी ये आपको एक्चुअली जो इंफॉर्मेशन जो अभी जो इधर पर जो मिल रही है, वो आपको 12 पैसा के हिसाब से मिल रही है इनटू 8. ठीक है. सो एक मिनट, कुछ गड़बड़ किया क्या मैंने? 12 पैसा पर मिनट है ना?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, ये मेरा 12 पैसा पर मिनट इनटू. एक मिनट, मैं खुद कुछ गड़बड़ किया. जस्ट अ सेकंड, सॉरी. आपका कैलकुलेशन विल गो लाइक दिस. कितने लोग वेट कर रहे हैं? हाँ, तो मतलब कितना देर वेट कर रहा है हर एक कस्टमर? कितने कस्टमर 1 घंटे में उधर पर वेट करेंगे? ठीक है, अब इसके बाद में आपका कॉस्ट जो है हर एक घंटे का जो कॉस्ट है दैट इज 12 पैसा पर मिनट। 12 पैसा पर मिनट, तो 1 घंटे में कितना? इंटू 60।
60.
ठीक है, अब 8 घंटे में कितना? इंटू
8.
8। क्लियर?
Yes, sir. Yes, clear.
हम्म?
Yes, sir.
सॉरी, मैं पहले थोड़ा गड़बड़ कर रहा था, बट दिस इज व्हाट यू विल गेट। फाइन?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, okay, can we move over to the next one?
Yes.
और यार एक रिक्वेस्ट है, आप लोग थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम रहती है तो एटलीस्ट बोलो यार, अगर नहीं बोलोगे ना आई कीप ऑन वेटिंग एंड वी लूज टाइम। नुकसान दोनों का है ना? मुझे भी टाइम लगेगा, आपका भी टाइम जाएगा। In a factory, the average machine breakdown rate is 3 per hour. The idle time cost for a machine is estimated at rupees 16 per hour. The factory works for 8 hours a day. The factory manager is considering 2 mechanics for repairing the machine. Mechanic A takes on an average 15 minutes repairing a machine and demands wages at rupees 8 per hour. Mechanic B takes 10 minutes only but demands rupees 10 per hour of wages. ये कुछ सेम ऐसे वाला क्वेश्चन लग रहा है, रिपेयरमैन वाला, फास्ट और स्लो रिपेयरमैन।
Yes.
Yes, sir.
है ना? तो आपको सिमिलर तरीके से इसको भी वर्कआउट करना पड़ेगा। ओके, मैकेनिक बी टेक्स 10 मिनट्स ओनली बट डिमांड्स रुपीज 10 पर आवर ऑफ वेजेस। सो जो बंदा फास्ट है वो पैसा ज्यादा ले रहा है, जो बंदा स्लो है वो पैसा कम ले रहा है। करेक्ट? सो अब इधर पर भी अपने को चूज करना है कि विच वन शुड बी चोजन। तो इसमें क्या पूछा है? An automotive servicing center has a central store where mechanics arrive to take spare parts for their job. The store is managed by a single storekeeper. The mechanics have to wait if the storekeeper is busy serving other mechanics and they wait in a queue. So wait, जब वो वेट कर रहे हैं तो मतलब एक तरह से उनका टाइम वेस्ट हो रहा है। इट इज अ नॉन प्रोडक्टिव टाइम। They are served on first come first serve basis. The storekeeper can cater to the average demand of 10 mechanics per hour and the servicing time is exponentially distributed. The arrival rate of the mechanics is 8 mechanics per hour. That means your arrival rate is 8 mechanics per hour. And are poison distributed. The time spent by the mechanic waiting for spare parts is non-productive time. Determine the time spent by the mechanic in the system. The mechanics are paid rupees 50 per hour and storekeeper is paid rupees 40 per hour and both work for 8 hours per day. The management is planning to appoint one more storekeeper, thereby the service can be improved to 14 mechanics per hour. Would you support the decision? अब यहाँ पर फर्स्ट सिनेरियो तो नॉर्मल तरीके से आप वर्कआउट करोगे एंड यू विल वर्कआउट योर टोटल कॉस्ट एंड इन केस ऑफ अ सेकंड ओके number of storekeepers will become 2, so your cost of the storekeeper will be 40 plus 40, 80 rupees आ जाएगा and your service rate will change. पहले आपका सर्विस रेट कितना है? 10 मैकेनिक्स पर आवर एंड जब आप एक और दूसरा भी ये स्टोर कीपर ले आते हो तो इट वुड बी 14 मैकेनिक्स पर आवर. So 10 की जगह पर 14. So now your new service rate would be 14. All the calculations would be done the same way. Okay. Will you try doing it? Take 5 minutes to work it out. In the meantime, I will just put the data in the appropriate format. Okay. Has anybody been able to complete it? We've created a structure which you can use as a guideline. Hello? Done?
Yes, sir, doing it.
Okay. Okay. Done? Length of the system in the first case would be how much?
4.
Lambda
4.
upon minus lambda. देखते हैं कितना आता है. You got it as 4. Okay, we'll
Yes.
just check. Lambda upon, this is my mu minus lambda. So we got it as 4. In the new situation, let me just check. If I'm just pasting the formula as it is, I get it as
1.3.
this much mechanics. Correct?
0.5. 0.5, yes.
Waiting time,
0.5.
0.5.
LS upon
Yes.
lambda. So this divided by, that is 0.5
30
R,
minutes.
correct? Let us see it for this one. It is 0.167 R.
Yes, sir.
हम उसको चाहिए तो मिनट्स में कन्वर्ट कर लेते हैं, सो अपने को समझने के लिए इजी रहेगा. Into 60, so that means this many minutes, whereas when we look at this equals to this into 60, so a remarkable difference, है ना? Now
Yes.
mechanic's wage is 50, whereas storekeeper's wage is 40. But now what will happen is, since we are having two storekeepers, so we'll have to multiply it by 2. So that means this will become correct.
Yes, sir.
अपना non-productive hours is the time when people are spending in the waiting line. So अभी इस वक्त, if I take this 30 minutes, this guy is going to wait in the queue, okay, and his wage is 50 rupees for the entire day. It would be into 8, और कितने मैकेनिक्स इस तरह से नहीं, उसके पहले इंटू 8 के पहले कितने मैकेनिक्स 1 घंटे में उतना टाइम डालेंगे? सो 8 मैकेनिक्स into my 8 hours shift. So sorry, एक सेकंड है, पर आवर पहले हम निकालते हैं. सो पर आवर के हिसाब से 50 रुपीज इंटू माई वेटिंग टाइम पर मैकेनिक कितना आता है? पर मैकेनिक एक तरह से देखा जाए तो मेरा कॉस्ट इज 25 रुपीज, करेक्ट. अब 1 घंटे में कितने मैकेनिक्स आएंगे? सो इंटू 8. So we come to know that non-productive hours comes to 200 rupees per hour. ठीक है. So ये आपका per hour, यहाँ पर it would be 66.67 rupees per hour. Now let us look at the total cost, including the wages. So if I'm taking into consideration total cost, including the wages, would be your non-productive hour cost plus your storekeeper salary plus mechanics salary. So comes to around 290 rupees per hour. Whereas here, the same thing would be equal to how much? 196.67. So since this is a cheaper option, total cost of servicing the customers is cheaper. So it is a wise decision to get another storekeeper at the same rate. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So your conclusion to service the mechanics with 2 storekeepers is beneficial. Fine. Okay. ठीक है.